Good morning, everyone. We'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. It's a little after 9 a.m. This is a meeting of Trinity County Commissioners Court. It's a special session. The date is Friday, August 14th. Like I said, a little after 9 a.m. We're meeting in Commissioners Courtroom, 162 West 1st Street, Trinity County Courthouse, Grove, Kentucky, 75845. And I've already welcomed everyone, so we'll just move into item 2, which is discuss and act on the renewal of health insurance coverage with the Texas Association of Counties for the 2015-2016 year. Mr. Dawkins, the floor is yours. You can give a presentation on our health insurance.
Good. Thank you, gentlemen. I ran off. I don't know if y'all have, these are the primary sheets. I don't know if y'all have those or not. I may have to out one. Y'all may have the whole package, but it's easier if we'll just focus on these two sheets right here, I think. Because this is what they're asking us to do.
Well,
Go ahead.
yes, sir. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. Probably the line that affects the county more than any other line is on the first page under medical. As far as I know, there's been no other change in the terms of the plan, but that tier, it says employee only. We provide 100% of the employee insurance. That amount last year was $677.66. It's going up to $725.16. So then those columns, we fill the columns out, and then it's showing the rates for an employee and a child and children, and an employee and family. And essentially, on the new amount the employer pays, if I understand the form, we'll have the one entry of $725.16 in that first column, assuming y'all approve this. And then the balance of our insurance coverage is passed on to the individual that elects the coverage. Dental, we passed through. No rate change there. Yeah, there was dental went up a couple of dollars for the employee, and for a whole family up $4, but we passed that dental through. And the same thing is, I believe the life, I thought the life was included in the rate. Maybe that's something separate. I'll have to check on that. But yes, it is. The employer pays 100% of the life. We pay, in conjunction with our medical, there's typically a term life with a medical insurance, and we're doing exactly what's typical. And then retirees, we offer the retirees the pass through on the medical and the dental too, so they can stay on our dental program for the retirees. And we could go over the 17 or 18 pages if y'all want, but I think that's the nuts and bolts of it is what affects the county. It is a significant increase.
It'll make our annual employee payment go up to approximately $87.02.
Yeah.
Yes.
About $600.
Yeah.
Just less than $600 a year.
Yeah. Roughly a $50 a month increase. That's right. Less than $687, which.
And on the health plan, about 7.01% higher totally for the county than last year.
I didn't run those numbers, but yes, sir, that probably would be true.
And can we take a minute and look at what that number was last year?
Sure.
Health insurance, what's in the general
I
fund?
think it's general fund page 11. Last year was 425, is that correct? 425,000.
Sort of district, it's a district number now.
You don't have last year's number?
Nope.
This is, what was it?
If you would like, Commissioner, I've got a copy of last year's budget in my office. Oh, he's got one.
I'm not sure this is the final one.
Yeah.
50,000 last year. And we have for,
You're in the wrong line.
425. We're going to 480.
Correct.
This is through TAC, right?
Yes, sir.
Have we checked any other companies?
No, sir, we have not gone out for bids for separate insurance.
We have a couple, they put our health insurance out for bids in many, many, many years. Last time we did it, they didn't want to do it.
Well, plus, if they bid on it, then the next year they'll jump it right back up. That's the way insurance works.
Yeah, for years, we would have to change, every 2 years, we change insurance providers, so that we get a good rate the first year, and the next year they jump it way up. So,
That's quite a bit of an increase.
55,000.
Right.
When does that take effect?
So,
October?
I believe it's October 1, if I go, if I'm.
Ties in with our fiscal year?
Yeah, I believe it ties into, I stand to be corrected on that, but I believe it ties into our
Yeah,
fiscal.
anniversary date 10/1/2015.
I think y'all are set up that way, if I'm not mistaken.
that's when they come over.
7.01% increase on 425,000 comes to $455,000. We got 480 in there, I'm trying to figure out what the $30,000.
I was figuring on the number of employees we had insured.
Here's the thing you have to do when you're doing this budget. If employees don't qualify for health insurance for 90 days. And there are some departments whose turnover in their employees, they have a large number of employees that don't stay 90 days, so they never get the insurance. And the new person replaces it, has to wait 90 days to get their insurance. So some of these people will never cover it. So that's why you got it disparity. But for, if we had a stable payroll, everybody worked, nobody left, then 480,000 comes close.
Because we have to add 5% increase in dental in there too.
Yeah. That's covered, this county doesn't pay any of the dental. Paul, he pays everything.
55. If I remember correctly, I figured that on 55 full-time employees, which comes out to $478,610.
Okay, so
Based on our number of employees we have now, my opinion would be that's not a bad guess, counting the in and out, the 90 days, because we're
it
writing.
passes the sanity test.
Yeah, it does, that's, if you figured on 55 full-time, then you take care of the in and out and the ones that come and go. And certainly, I don't know, it's just my opinion, whatever y'all want to do, but my opinion, it's better to be a few thousand lower than a few thousand under.
True.
I might propose, as we had suggestions from my colleagues, that we just take the opportunity, since we've got about 45 days, to get some other quotes and see what happens. I know we've always stayed with TAC on health insurance, but it'd be interesting to see what somebody else might quote. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Well,
The statistics are going to, I don't know, I guess they can.
I don't believe we can do too much better than staying with TAC, based on the
I don't think
numbers
we
that
can either.
they put together.
No, this increase is not as big as the increase that DEFCOG did for their employees. They have the same insurance.
Everybody seems to be getting hit big.
Well, everybody gets that. Our
Obamacare.
is less than a lot of other people, so.
are we not required to go out for bids every so many years, or?
I don't
No,
think so. I stand to be corrected, but I do not think we're required to go out for bids for insurance.
Not for this kind of service, because it's a limited pool, but you're not prohibited from doing it.
Well, I agree with Mr. Chapman, that probably won't change from this, but I'd like to see what the other companies are proposing.
You need it
But
on this.
it needs to be the same coverage
Yeah.
Right.
that we're getting right now.
What we have now is a $1,500 deductible.
That's through Blue Cross, isn't it?
Yeah, Blue Cross Blue Shield, one of their subsidiaries, subsidiary companies, just one of the subsidiaries.
Does it pay pretty good?
Once you make the deductible, it does.
Mhm.
Is everybody pretty much satisfied with it?
I've heard no complaints.
I don't have.
So I don't, yeah, so I don't know. But I would say no one has said anything to me. Probably they would complain to the judge's office or something.
No, usually they complain to your office,
Yeah.
because
Well,
you're the one that handles the insurance.
so no one's
They
complaining
complain to
to
the
me.
various commissioners and to the judge.
I don't participate in that program either, so
Okay.
I couldn't tell you.
Well, I do, so.
Yeah.
You hadn't been in the hospital,
Huh?
but you hadn't been in the hospital and had any medical procedures
Yes,
done.
yeah,
Oh, have you?
yeah,
Okay. And they pay off pretty good?
yes.
Okay.
But my advantage is my old age allows me to have two insurances, county insurance and Medicare, so. My deductible is much smaller than most of the under 50, 65 people. As I said, the deductible is $1,500. If you go down to a smaller deductible, the rate goes way up.
I would suggest, since we're on that topic, that as far as the budget is concerned, we leave your $480,000 number in there. But in the meantime, let's get some quotes. If we get some quotes
I'll
on
see if we can, I'll see if we can pull something out. I know we'll have to go through a survey, which every insurance company is going to ask you the details about the age and
Yeah.
Right.
experience and how many people have you had sick and claims and so on. So, but I think maybe under today's technology, if we can get on the basics and we're able to give social security numbers, they should be able to go into some kind of records database online and get some
Give you a
information.
result pretty quick.
Yeah, so but I'll find out what all we're allowed to under the rules to give to an insurance company.
Do you notice drop dead date attack and getting back to attack on the increase?
No, sir, I do not. I have read the letter, but I initially got this sometime back and I read it and certainly forwarded it on to the judge and haven't read the details of when the drop dead date is. But
It says return to tax no later than August 3rd.
Yeah, we have an extension on that,
renewal paperwork is due August the 17th, so.
which is Monday.
That, I'm not sure, I'll work real hard this weekend, but I'm not sure I get the information you want by Monday.
You know, change.
Or whatever day it is.
It's like buying a new car, depending on what you get. That's kind of it.
Well, like Commissioner Smith said, we certainly want to do apples to apples.
Mhm.
Quotes.
Maybe a better with the date coming up, and if we have to get the paperwork back, I guess the Monday, the 17th is
Yes.
Monday, so it's Monday is the 17th. Y'all might want to consider going and renewing, and then sometime in next summer, maybe going out for additional bids, because we know with, probably with Obamacare and the other items that are coming in, that our insurance is not going to go down.
Right.
And maybe go out for bids then, but if you'd like for me to, I can go ahead and go out for bids based on this information, and we can do a comparison right now, or in the next couple of months.
The employees who rely on health insurance wouldn't want it in the next couple of months, because that means sometime in October they'd be.
No, I mean, just as comparison to this year, I know it wouldn't change what we're doing, but they give us a comparison if the commissioner's court's interested in doing it now or waiting until next year. Either one's fine with me.
I guess if we awarded the bid today, other companies wouldn't want
That
to
they
give
would,
you a bid.
they wouldn't want to give us a quote. We'd have to go out under the purview that.
One more question on this bid through tax. Would this mean that every county in Texas that goes through tax would be paying the same?
No. As I said, DEFCON uses the same insurance company, and their insurance is much more expensive. But then DEFCON does cover their employees, like, going to be part of their employees. But every county has a different rate based on their Blue Cross's experience with the county. But in every city has a different rate than the county, because they figure them different.
True.
Right now, this is not the least expensive plan available, but it's the one that's worked. I mean, you can get a $5,000 deductible insurance, health insurance policy, but what we pay our employees, they have to mortgage their homes to get health care before they can deduct.
I think we need to stick with what we have.
Pardon me?
I think we need to stick with that.
I would propose that if you would like, gentlemen, sometime during this year, there's a thing called a health savings account. That's a really neat program. And we might just take a look at that. And essentially, this is the nuts and the bolts of it. You give the employees X amount of dollars to spend on health coverage throughout the year. And they may spend it in the first of the year or the latter part of the year. Essentially, it's a credit card for X amount of dollars. Okay? And then you go in to offset that. You want to make sure that it's still the net benefit to the county. You raise that deductible up based on whatever you're providing in that health savings account. And it can be solely contributed by the county, or it can be contributory between the county and the employee. Because I think the point was well made earlier, the higher you get that deductible, it's amazing the rates, how the insurance rates go down. And you lower that deductible just a little bit, and it's amazing how quick they go up. So I'm sure this is just a happy medium, would be my guess on the deductible.
Well, given the timing and the additional information we just got, I guess I'll make a motion that we go ahead and accept the tax
I'll say,
proposal for this year, and sometime during this year, hopefully earlier rather than later, we'll get a quote or something.
Okay, yeah. I think if we went out in the spring, then whoever we went to, it wouldn't be like, oh, you're just testing us and we're not going to have a shot at it. But maybe we can do something. I'll try to learn a little bit more about that between now and the spring.
All right, I have a motion from Commissioner Chamberlain, seconded by Commissioner Brown, to move forward with our insurance program we have with Texas Association of Counties Health Employee Benefits Pool. Any more discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. Bob, I'll get with you after the meeting, I'll get this all filled out.
All right, that sounds
It needs to be, the contact information needs to be changed on it to show you.
All right, sounds
We'll get
good.
that.
Thank you. We'll do that.
Okay. All right, with that, we'll move into budget workshop on preparation of the fiscal year 2016 Trinity County budget. I see we got a proposed budget file. We got y'all copies of it. A few notes I made. Shows the commissioners, y'all getting a 37% increase from the ad valorem taxes, and I base that on the fact that mineral monies and timber or forest service monies, timber monies is just about dried up. So they went from 10% cut of ad valorem to 37% to help balance out what y'all had. On this proposed budget, let's see, still not received sheets back from the auditor's office, commissioners 1, 3, and 4, district court, and county attorney. So those numbers in the proposed budget reflect last year's numbers.
Yeah, well, I'm talking to you about my budget.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We can cover only one item I asked for an increase in, and I think we can cover it.
Interest is sinking back to back, the debt rate, so .025 to cover that, with a rollover from this year's budget and debt of $42,996. .025 to cover that in the oncoming budget, which leaves us .6250 to work with in the maintenance and operation.
Excuse me, Judge,
Yes, sir.
what page is that INS?
It's the very back page.
Very back.
Very back.
Okay, you're on file, yeah. Okay, good, thank you.
Judge, what do you think the balance forward on that?
Well, we're over on this year's, if you look at your debt, taxes collected on debt, we're over on that, and I was rolling, what we have over, I was rolling over into this coming budget.
I assume that that overage has not been spent on interest and fund. Or is it already spent unless we were less down on principal?
I don't know, do you know that?
I just
Yeah.
think it's fair, so.
Yeah.
Well, look over it.
And I've got a, matter of fact, I should have an email now from the SWS Southwest Securities, an updated payment plan with the $410,000 we paid last year, plus the overages we've had over the last 3 years. We should be, our principal should be down
No,
compared to what it
yeah,
had been.
way down.
Yeah.
We paid extra money on the debt last year.
And that may make this debt payment totally different than what it shows right now.
Now, this budget has no cars for, law enforcement in it,
No.
as far as buying cars. And what I'm getting at is sheriff's department, we bought 3 cars last year. My opinion is we need to get on the rotation of buying 2 cars every year and moving the old ones out. We need to have a number of cars that we're gonna supply. And when we put 2 in the fleet, we need to take 2 out of the fleet.
And the sheriff and I talked, the plan was to, when we put 2 in the fleet, 2 new ones in the sheriff's office fleet, pull the 2 out, and then funnel them to the constable's offices. And then take the constables that have been used by 2 different people and auction them off. Get rid of them. We have $100,000 set aside in the debt service, which would cover that. $201,000 in reserve fund. Are your ears burning?
They are.
We're just talking about cars for you. Brings attention on my budget in particular. Y'all notice a nearly $40,000 increase, but it's pretty much a wash between moving indigent health care. You'll notice indigent health care goes to zero because we moved it back in my office. So it's pretty much a wash. Plus, that'll bring Jenny on full time.
Well, the first budget hearing you had, I thought you said just leave the salaries right where they are. But this budget refers to department heads and some salaries being increased in every department.
On the department heads, shouldn't be on the department heads. On the department head that's got an increase in the budget is the sheriff. The clerical staff, they have got some bumps along the way. In fact, the way I have this put together, our least paid employee with the county would be $10 an hour.
Well, jail administrator is going up $1,000. So if that ain't a raise, I mean, I don't know what you call it.
That is a raise.
Okay.
That's not a department head.
Jail administrator's not called.
She works underneath the sheriff.
Oh, by the way, Dale, I didn't hear when your budget happened. Well, you got a budget,
Yes.
Mr. Judges didn't say it. Not far enough in.
That transfer, like I said, on road and bridge, trying to keep y'all close. Act, I think y'all got a little bump. But trying to keep y'all close to what you were last year. We went up 37%, or about $80,000 on the transfer to cover the losses from, like I said, Forest Service and then
Junior, I keep looking at the Commissioner's Court. Equipment purchase is zero line item.
What page?
Page 17. through-
that's some numbers I need. Yep.
Through 20.
The only commissioner's budget that's totally finished right here is precinct 2.
General fund?
Sorry?
Is your budget just come from the commissioner, check money from the general fund? Or does it include the road and bridge fund too?
All those numbers in the middle of the pages on the road and bridge general transfer itemization, those are good numbers.
That's the income. And more than 121,000. As I said, bottom equipment purchase, zero. Been here a long time, I've never seen a year for you to buy something for one of them.
Right. Right.
We can move them numbers all right.
Yes, sir.
Move around.
Move around anywhere you wish. You're gonna have, based on that, Sheila, you may be able to help out with this, the sale of fixed assets, last year you showed 97,000. Right now, I don't have anything in there.
I think I answered your email yesterday morning and told you that you don't do anything to sell with fixed assets unless they sell something.
Okay, so it should be 0, correct?
As of right now.
Okay.
Some of this is in regards to the debt, but I also emailed you. They trade something in and go in and sell. That doesn't happen until.
What are we gonna do with, Constable Precinct 1? I see his salary or his budget went from 27,000 to 20,000. The rest of them primarily stayed the same.
Well, I think I got it wrong.
Sorry?
I think all the constables put you on the phone.
Well, from what I understand, he's not doing his job, he's not patrolling, he's not serving papers at the will of the judge. We've discussed this 4 or 5 times up here, and it's time to do something about it, in my opinion. If he's not gonna do the job, we'll park the car. I believe y'all said at one time that we'd stand a chance of a lawsuit if we took his money. But, he shouldn't have any expenses or cars if he ain't gonna do the job. I don't know, what do y'all think?
I'm in agreement with you. If we can legally do that, Mr. Bell. Yank his car from him, leave him a foot,
Well,
let him use his own wood.
then you have to compensate for it. Then you have to make reports so we can mileage it. Fees and stuff like that. But the state law says you have to provide him with the stuff he needs to do the job. You know.
That's a problem. We're
But,
not doing it.
yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah.
Other issues involved in that, but you don't have to provide patrol medical if you pay the mileage expenses for using the own vehicle. You have to submit the report every month justifying that.
Can we put a letter together stating that? As of such and such date, we are taking your car away from you. If you want to be compensated using your personal vehicle, then charge mileage.
Let's do it as part of the budget process.
Okay.
That way,
But is it your suggestion to leave it alone, just like it is?
no, I haven't studied it yet, but my suggestion is
We've been
consider
studying it for 2
doing
years.
something. Yeah, consider doing something now. But getting a notice that you're going to do something, you get a chance to answer. But, the line item, I'm confused, Judge.
If I understand it right, the constable has to, there's 2 of his functions he has to do. He has to run a report before the court each month of his activities. And he has to serve papers and be a bailiff in JP Court at the will of the judge. And I've been told that the judge called him to do paperwork or serve. Or go have court on Friday, he tells me he don't work on Friday.
Well, I don't know that. The only time I've been in court, JP1, the constable, one was there. So,
Oh, is that right?
yeah, but I've only been there twice. Or once.
I just keep hearing this from
I've-
other sources, and I don't know.
But that was a full-blown hearing with lawyers involved and everything else. I don't know how often you've been requested to be there or not be there. You have to call the judge, he deals with court. And we've known through the past 3 years, that his monthly reports are usually late or lacking, but he has filed some. And maybe he's not filing reports because he's not doing anything. So, yeah, you're required, I don't remember what it was, the commissioner's court one time asked me, do we have to pay all the constables the same? I said, well, no. I said, we want attorney general's opinion on it. So I wrote the attorney general for an opinion on that, and discovered that Joe Price was asking the same opinion she got an answer back. It says, basically the same answer I have. You don't have to pay them all the same. You pay them based on the work they do. And most of the constables we have do about the same amount of work. Some do more, some do less, but they're about the same, except one. So, yeah, but you need a hearing. Do all that. And cover the budget process rather than go off on the skelter, so.
So we need to make contact with him and get him up here for a hearing before the court.
Us, did he submit a budget request?
He did.
Commissioners can rule on his budget request and ask him to present his argument.
Okay.
This particular budget, pardon me, had $5,000 last year for fuel and $1,000 this year.
Yeah.
So that's a $4,000 reduction, of course. And
Everybody else?
it is some, if this budget were approved, it is some action on behalf of this court to send a message that if the work isn't getting done, we can't fund it. The salary's still there based on your input and so on.
Miscellaneous has a $400 drop. Vehicle repair and maintenance has a $2,000 drop. Education, school and dues has an $800 drop. So,
I don't know about that one. I'm not sure about
The
that.
sheriff, this constable one, still not have, does he participate in the radio system for the county? At one point, there was a discussion about him not having the right radio to participate in the county.
He has all the equipment, I just refuse to let him use my dispatch.
Which creates a major problem.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
I don't have to let him use my dispatch.
It's not your dispatch.
Who's this, Joe Bell?
we're gonna have order in this courtroom.
It is the county's dispatch. That's the person who's licensed.
No, it's not. It's not the Trinity County Sheriff. I already looked it up. We discussed this last year. First of all, he comes in my department and he threatens to arrest my people because they don't take orders from him. I do not have to tolerate that. He's been to your office, he's been to Benny's office trying to arrest my dispatchers because they don't get up and do what he says or give them keys to the courthouse. I don't have to give him keys to the courthouse. I don't have to give him keys to nothing. He's not coming in my office telling my people what they're going to do, and when they don't do it, threatens to arrest them. First of all, that's official oppression on his part. And I don't have to tolerate it in my office, and I'm not going to. Plain and simple. And the license clearly says Trinity County Sheriff's Office. I looked at it last year, and I presented it to this court.
Yeah. It says Trinity County.
Sheriff.
If
He is allowed to use the radio to say where he's at, check out, and that's it. But I do not have to allow him, I do not have to run criminal mysteries from him. I don't have to do none of that.
and you wonder how we're going to do this job.
That ain't got to do with it. He quit doing his job before that, Joe Bell.
Yeah, but now you have prevented him from resuming it. That creates.
How does that prevent him to go into his courtroom and doing what he's supposed to do for his judge? It does not. He does not need a radio in there for his judge. He does not need a radio to serve papers.
I think that's a problem. Why would you go out and serve papers when you kind of use the radio?
He can. He can tell us where he's at and he can check back in. That's it.
This is a discussion y'all can carry on after court.
Not worth discussing.
Okay.
Allow me to bring this up for one reason. Every 2 to 3 months, it comes up about this particular customer. Not doing his job. This is complaining, that is complaining, and y'all know at the last meeting we had, the constables came up and complained. And if we're gonna do anything, we need to do it, or we need to hush, and I won't bring it up anymore. We're gonna let him ride in the county for the next 2 years, so be it. And I brought it to the table. Whatever we're gonna do, it's budget time, we need to do it.
Well, I expect the voters will take care of the problem next year.
They will, but like Commissioner Smith says, you know, how many dollars are we gonna squander off waiting on that to happen? Paying somebody that's not doing their job.
You can do the budget process. He has to justify his budget. When he does that, and I explained this to the constables multiple times over the years. You do that by filing your monthly report, say what you do, why, and how much it costs, how many many arrests you made, how many times you attended court, and all but one constable does that. Some of them are a little slow, but they all wish to do it. If it's bad at the public, he has to justify his budget.
I had heard at one point there was a residency question too. Do we know that for sure?
He does not live in Trinity County, he lives in Walker County.
Yeah, but that's one of the hardest things to prove. The district attorney of Polk County sued the mayor of Kern to prove he was not qualified because he lived in Houston. He just stayed in his mama's house in Kern. And the district court said, that's enough. He's got a place in Kern and he can live there, or that's enough. So, and I've done it a couple of times when I actually able to prove somebody didn't live there because there was no house where the claimant was living, and no tent. But it's real hard to prove. Doesn't see if they've got a place to stay. It's not impossible. It's real hard. Depends on what county wants to spend the money.
Given that information, last year's budget was $27,236. This year's proposed budget is $20,060, roughly a $7,100 decrease. I would suggest that we go forward with this budget, showing that we reduced the budget by $7,000, trying to get the message that the process isn't working, and see what happens in the next few months.
And if it's the court's pleasure, I can send a letter out of my office to him with these numbers, showing the $7,000 decrease, and see
If he responds.
if he even responds. Yeah.
Yes, that would be the best procedure for us, for y'all to do.
I make that motion.
Okay. Budget workshop, or you're just making a request? Okay.
That's in the form of a request, send a letter to the constable's office.
Where's the contribution for the ambulance?
That needs to be put in here. That's gonna be in there.
Should be under public safety, should it?
Correct, yes, sir.
It's not in here.
I've got to have it in. $12,000.
We ever heard from the other constable and the other ambulance service, they're always request contribution.
Sir?
The one in the county is not requesting anymore.
No. And I was told by the mayor last night that, you know, East Texas Medical Center had this, prescription
Page 9.
prescription deal where you paid, I think it started out $40 and it was up to $65
$68 or something like that.
per household. And if you needed an ambulance, they would come and pick you up and carry you in that year's time. If you had to have a helicopter, the way East Texas worked was if you went north to one of their hospitals, they would carry you. I understand that the mayor has talked to Keith Shelley, and they're thinking about starting that up. He told us when we hired him that he would look into that. He was calling the next day or two about it again.
That program was actually started before TMC took over the ambulance. Started when the ambulance system was moving to pipeline. Jared Ellis, when they started.
Yes, sir, that was something that they started, but then East Texas Medical picked it up and went ahead with it. So, I'm hearing nothing to do with reports. I've had one bad report on Ventura, and that was moving a lady from the nursing home to Conroe. They carried her down there. And, when she got ready to come home, they called for the ambulance to come back. But because of Obamacare and Medicare, all these rules, if you can set up and ride in the ambulance, they won't pay for it. Medicare won't pay for the ambulance ride back to the hospital. So they had to go and pick her up by themselves. That's the only complaint I've had.
Not much they can do about Obamacare.
Well, I agree.
Bureaucrats making medical decisions.
Suppose if you've got a body cast and can't lay down, you still have to get private ride.
Anybody have anything else? We got copies of this out for y'all to review. When we have anything else, we can slate a meeting for next week. Y'all can review it over the next few days and come back to the next meeting with subtractions, additions, moving money around, bring your ideas back to the table.
Give a proposed date.
What works for y'all? I've got a county for Thursday. That takes long to do.
Mine.
Be any signal.
We're looking at the week of the 17th through the 21st.
We budgeted, $250,000 in contract jail space. Ms. Sheila, do you know how much to date we have spent on that, or maybe we know?
It's well below that.
Is it?
I won't say it's around 100. Sheriff, do you know off the top of your head what your contract jail space line is running right now?
I haven't seen, no, sure, I don't know. It, I don't think we've paid 2 months worth of bills, I think.
Yeah. I want to say it's around 100,000 right now
What?
that's been spent.
Well, this was going to be way more than that. We should still be under,
Yeah.
but I don't know how long it takes them to get us the invoices. I don't understand.
They haven't received the bill in almost 3 months.
Oh, really?
And they don't send it to us.
I think the last bill that I
I
signed.
requested
was
that, but they don't have it.
I received them by email and I forwarded it to Denise. She signed off on this inspection.
Maybe they don't need the money.
Evidently.
Maybe Houston County doesn't need the money. They're richer than we are anyway.
True.
Tuesday morning or Wednesday afternoon.
Okay. Tuesday morning, so Wednesday afternoon, is that Wednesday afternoon work for you guys?
Will Tiger be back by then?
Yes, sir.
I won't be able to be here until about 2 o'clock.
2 o'clock? I'm sorry?
I won't be able to be here about 2 o'clock, but that wouldn't stop y'all from meeting.
Okay.
I've got a meeting Wednesday afternoon.
Okay.
Well, up in Lufkin, from 10 to 1.
I'm canceling again, no fact.
On Wednesday?
I don't know when the I have to look.
Wednesday is the 19th. 2 o'clock, is that what we're saying? 2 p.m., is that? Everybody satisfied with that?
Works for me.
Okay. PM on Wednesday work for you, Mr. Smith?
Yeah.
Okay.
What's our next milestone for filing the budget with the papers and the newspapers?
Once we get this proposed budget put together, of course, it's presented to the public now. Finalizing the budget, putting together a budget to adopt in the tax rate. And we're below, with our rate we're looking at, below effective rate and rollback rate, so we'll have that public hearings. So that's, sorry.
You don't have to compare it to the tax rate.
Correct. And we do have to have a public hearing on the proposed budget. We cannot have a public hearing on the proposed budget until after the 15th of September. So we've got a month to work on this and get the final budget nailed down.
You raise your right hands.
Raise my right hand.
I promise in the future to have the budget done earlier.
And it will be. I'd like to have it filed by July 31st where we can do all this processing after August 15th instead of after September 15th.
Well, statute says we gotta do the budget in July, but we didn't get the certified tax roll till the last.
July,
July.
25th or something like that.
So it's kind of hard to do the budget when you don't have the certified tax roll.
Right.
But they did raise the appraisal countywide a lot.
True.
They did a lot of work, and one of the problems was, we're supposed to have the proposed tax increase in the mail, and the following protest on the 31st of May. The problem lies in the fact that if they don't get the notice out in time, then you get an extra few days to file your protest, and then they have more time, they have to have hearings for people that are protesting. And you can't do a certified tax roll until basically until we finish the protest process. So we all got bogged down on that.
Talking about the appraisal district and the job they've done with reappraisals on the other end of the county, which we've touched on this already, if y'all notice on the cover sheet, we're looking at a $515,000 increase over last year's budget, 13.51%. So we got a big increase there. So.
So there's a chance you could go down on taxes a little bit.
There is, yes.
Well, I still want to request a copy of each elected official's wish list.
Okay. Take that under consideration.
That's what you said last time we met.
It
So
is.
you're going to give it to me now?
Well, I'll just tell you point blank, I'm not.
Okay. So I'm going to file an Open Records Act to get it.
Okay.
All right.
Whatever you feel you got to do.
Okay.
We have a meeting slated for Wednesday, 2 o'clock. With that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Motion by Commissioner Brown,
Second.
second by Commissioner Chamberlain. We adjourn. We stand adjourned.